Top 10 Tourist Spots in Nepal. Number 1, Kathmandu. Kathmandu, the capital and largest city in Nepal, is like no other city in the world. The decaying buildings in the heart of the city are a contrast to the lively atmosphere that permeates the streets. The smell of incense wafts from the stores while street sellers push their wares, and people go about their daily lives, all against a backdrop of historic temples and carved statues. Number 2. Bhaktapur. Bhaktapur, the third of the royal cities, lies on the old trade route to Tibet, just outside of Kathmandu. For Bhaktapur, the trade route was both an arterial link and major source of wealth. Its relative remoteness at the time allowed the city to develop independently and in ways which distinguish it from the other two cities. In contrast to Patan and Kathmandu, the population of Bhaktapur is primarily Hindu. The best place from which to begin a tour of the city is Durbar Square, where in addition to the royal palace, several temples are also situated. The whole area is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 3, Badrinath Stupa. The Badrinath Stupa, just outside of Kathmandu, is one of the largest stupas of its kind in the world, and dates to sometime around the 6th century, possibly even earlier. Like Bhaktapur, it lies on the old trade route to Tibet and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The stupa sustained minor damage during the 2015 earthquake but is otherwise in good condition. Number 4, Pokhara. Pokhara, at the base of the foothills, is 200 kilometers west of Kathmandu and surrounded by some of the highest mountains in the world, Dhaulagiri, Manaslu, and Annapurna. For many trekkers, Pokhara is the gateway to the Himalayas. It is the starting point for treks to Jomsom and the Annapurna region. But visitors will enjoy Pokhara and the beautiful scenery even if they are not planning on heading off on a hike. Number 5, Annapurna region. The Annapurna region is one of the most popular trekking regions in Nepal, with trekking options of a few days to a few weeks. There are 3 main routes in the Annapurna region, which intersect and combine in places, but trekkers can opt to do a portion or a variation on the routes. The Annapurna circuit around Annapurna mountain takes about 21 days to complete and is incredibly popular with people who have enough time. This route is sometimes called the apple pie circuit, in reference to the fact that most of the tea houses along the route serve their own version of fried apple pie. Number 6, Chitwan National Park. Chitwan National Park is the place to come to experience a different side of Nepal, apart from the hiking and the intrigue of Kathmandu. This is the place for wildlife viewing and a safari-type atmosphere. At an altitude of only 100 meters in some areas, much lower than Kathmandu at 1,400 meters, this area has a tropical monsoon climate, usually quite different than what most people expect to find in Nepal. Visitors come here primarily to see wildlife. Tours from the lodges take visitors out into the park, either on foot, or more often, on elephants for close-up views of the animals. The park is home to rhinos, Bengal tigers, leopards, sloth bears, gaur, buffalo, deer, and many other critters. Freshwater dolphins, gangetic, and crocodiles inhabit the rivers and streams but are rarely seen. More than 500 species of birds make Chin a paradise for ornithologists. Number 7, Langtang region. The Langtang region, home to Langtang National Park, is an incredible area for hiking, with some high passes, extensive views, old monasteries, and beautiful mountain scenery with rhododendron forests that bloom during the spring hiking season. It is less developed than some of the other popular trekking areas in Nepal and generally less busy on the trails, despite its close proximity to Kathmandu. There are villages with guest houses and food all along the route, although somewhat more spread out than in other trekking regions. Number 8, Everest. The summit of Mount Everest, the highest mountain on Earth, reaches 8,848 meters, 29,028 feet, high. Trekking in the Mount Everest area became popular following the now legendary first descent of the peak in 1953 by Edmund Hillary from New Zealand and the Sherpa Tenzing Norgay. Since that time, many more have summited the mountain, but far more trek the route to Everest Base Camp simply for a glimpse of the peak far above. In recent years, the mountain has seen its fair share of tragedy and drama. The 2015 earthquake and previous avalanches, along with disputes between climbers on the mountain, have left their mark on Everest trekking and climbing. Number 9. Lumbini. Lumbini is famous for being the birthplace of Siddhartha Gautama, the historic Buddha, known as Buddha Shakyamuni. Situated off the main tourist track, almost 250 kilometers from Kathmandu, Lumbini is a worthwhile detour on the route from Pokhara to the Chitta National Park. In this pilgrimage town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, there is a feeling of tranquility. Most of the visitors are Buddhist pilgrims from around the world, retracing Buddha's footsteps through the stations of his life. The Maya Devi Temple, dedicated to Buddha's mother, is believed to be the spot where Buddha was born. It contains an ancient stone relief from the 2nd century AD depicting Buddha's birth. Number 10. Halambu Trek. The Halambu region is a popular trekking area, particularly with trekking companies offering guided hikes. This is largely because it is close to Kathmandu, does not reach astoundingly high elevations, and offers some beautiful mountain scenery. For many of these same reasons, it is often touted by tour groups as being easy. However, many hikers who come here on tours find it as more demanding than they feel they were led to believe and more difficult than they anticipate. Trekking in the Himalayas is always demanding, and although it is not as high as other treks, it is still a physically demanding hike and trekkers should be in good physical condition. With that in mind, this is a beautiful trek and well worth the effort. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more videos.